feel the way I do. Confess, I think you want me to. There's something deep inside that you hide but you can't suppress. Just confess, please confess.
Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to Love Samantha Daniels Style. For the next 30 minutes we're going to be talking about dating, sex, love, romance, and relationships. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about dating, sex, love, romance, or relationships, this is your opportunity to ask a professional matchmaker, that's me, any questions that you have, anything that you want to talk about. So each and every week people raise their hand to ask me questions. They bring in issues that they're having in their own personal relationships. They bring in issues that their friends, family members, and colleagues are having. Maybe you're dating somebody and you're trying to figure out what the next step is. Maybe you're trying to break up with somebody and you don't know how to do it. Maybe you're trying to get more respect from the person that you're dating and you're in a relationship with. Maybe you're trying to spice it up a little bit when it comes to sex. Any of those things are fair game here on the show for the next 30 minutes. So I see CrossNet has a hand up. Would you like to ask a question?
Hello, Samantha. Always a pleasure to be on the show. Recently, my friends and I have been talking about first love and love at first sight, things like that. I was wondering what your take would be on it. I've got a point of view where I kind of believe in it if it's a soulmate, that it can happen, but there's been a fine line drawn years ago which seems to have kind of got hazed over between love and lust. What would be your perspective on that? Do you actually think that love at first sight still does exist for a lot of people?
I think that today, love at first sight has really become chemistry at first sight, because I think that in today's day and age, love at first sight has a lot to do with chemistry. That intangible that two people feel when they meet and when they connect and they have something in common that makes them feel that draw to each other. I think that in our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents' years, I think that they felt as if it was love at first sight, meaning that they would look at that person and they thought that they were so attractive and so beautiful and they were drawn to them and they called it love. I think in later years, as people like myself have really studied the industry, love, romance, relationships, they've realized that it more has to do with that intangible feeling you get when that serotonin races through your body, where you feel a little flutter when you're interacting with that person. And I think we've all felt that chemistry before, and you know that chemistry doesn't necessarily come from looks and looks alone. I think that years ago people thought that it really had to do with looking at someone and thinking that they were so pretty or so sexually attractive to them that they felt love at first sight. But now it's really about connection. So people will tell you that chemistry happens with people who they don't even find to be aesthetically beautiful, but more that they have a connection to, or they laugh with, or they like their personality, they have things in common, they have similar hobbies. All of those things, I think, create that love at first sight that happens today in the millennium. So I think it's still out there, and I think that we're all looking for it. I think that people feel very strongly about wanting and needing to have that connection, because that's the intangible that keeps a relationship going. That's the intangible that makes it so that when you're fighting with your significant other or your spouse and you want to absolutely kill them and throw in the towel, that you can remember back to the time where you had that great connection with them, and that connection perseveres and clouds everything else so that you remember what it's like. CrossNet says, do you think that the lines have gotten even more drawn by people or perceptions of media? I mean, I think that the media definitely has a play in the whole love at first sight and chemistry thing, but I think that it's not really about the media or about the common person. I think it's just about feelings. And I think that that's what people are looking for. I mean, when you're dating, and some of you in the room today, I'm sure, are dating. Some of you are single, relationships, married, whatever it is. And, when you're dating and when you're meeting new people, you are looking for a connection with that person. You're looking for that pitter-pat so that you want to see them the next day. So if your phone rings or if it comes up on your caller ID that that person's calling you, that you get that little bit of excitement or that pitter-pat so that you want to see them again. I know that with a lot of my clients, I think that they talk to me about, well, they've had a date and their date was okay. It was good enough for them to go out a second time, but they're not sure. A lot of times that's what happens with people when they're dating, that it's okay and they'll go out again and again trying to capture that little something. But a lot of times I think that you're only going to capture that something if you feel it during the first encounter, because it's rare that you pick it up later on. It's this intangible thing that happens during a date, so I think that you can go out on 15 dates that are just okay, and then you go on the 16th one and you feel that connection that you haven't felt with anyone else. You don't really know why it's there, but you do feel it, and that's what makes you get excited about that person. That's what makes it so that you stop dating other people and that you want to see that person. I got emailed in a question this week from somebody who says that they're dating a lot of different people and they wanted to know the protocol as to when they're supposed to stop dating a lot of different people and focus just on one person. Is it appropriate to date a lot of people all at once, and how do you do that? And my answer to them, and what I'd sort of say in the day, is that it all depends on your feelings. Because you can be dating 3 or 4 different people at the same time who you feel neutral towards, and you have mediocre feelings towards them, enough that you'll see them again and see what happens, but not so much that you can't focus on anyone else. And I think that everybody who's single is dating until they find that person that makes them not want to go out with other people. Because when you like someone and when you're focused on one person, very difficult to give other people a chance. And so I say that there's no rule or there's no rhyme or reason to that. It's more about an individual